Friends, Dr. Murphy here with stories that cover a number of themes we'll put under universalism and culture cruise. I'm dedicating this to a childhood friend of mine named Alice. Okay, Alice and I get together and brainstorm about some new types of artwork. I would ask you to imagine some of the scenes in the New Testament. In this story, we're looking at the scene where Christ is talking and listening to children, all right? And we're also going to get back to this where we cover words of wisdom from children. Good stuff. Now, let me just take us back to 2000. Here's my mom. My dad couldn't travel at that time with 12 of her 26 grandchildren. Now, I know my mom and I and many of adults have learned so much from these kids, okay? Here is our oldest son, Dan, back during high school graduation. There's his best buddy, Grant. Now, Grant left us early about 15 years ago, just as Alice's middle son, Matt, left them early, at age 44. This was over a year ago. The story, one of the many stories of Dan and Grant, is that when they were in high school, they played video games downstairs, and they just filled this home with laughter. Okay, now we're fortunate to have our adult children come home with their friends and fill our home again with laughter, wherever we're at, whether it's this home or, another home. All right, now let's go to this edition of the New York Times. Editor's note: this section should not be read by grown-ups. Okay. And these stories and images are every bit as educational, inspirational as the stuff you read in the adult section. Snow sluice for the New York Times weather team predicting the future is part of the job. Wildfires fleeing the Los Angeles wildfires. Crazy. No phone zone, okay, in schools. Price check: why toys, TVs, and other goods could become more expensive this year. Scientists search for clues in dino poop. Okay. You don't know snot. Gross? Maybe, but mucus is a secret superhero. Then here, how dinosaurs took over the world. This is a great review of paleontology, history, archaeology, all those kind of things. My most embarrassing moment, Crush Edition. A secret Santa fail, busted by a book, an engineering disaster. And when Alice and I talked, I haven't seen her since junior high or high school, and I'll get to see her again. She lives out in Parker, Colorado, and to talk about this artwork, we were laughing over at some of our embarrassing moments as children, right? Now, to this section. Speak. You read each one of these. These are words of wisdom from kids who have lived unique lives. They express profound truths. And their opinions are every bit as important as the opinions we read in the editorial sections of adult newspapers. These are the young kids that will be taking care of us baby boomers, right? When we grow older, become more frail, and die. I have great faith, hope, trust in these young kids because they've been through things that we in later generations couldn't even imagine. Like, being locked down during COVID and trying to get their education. But they are emerging as wonderful young adults. Now, the imagery I'd like you to keep in mind in the new type of art are steel sculptures, metal sculptures of the key scenes from the New Testament. So I'll be looking for the metal sculptures that can easily create the multi-figured statue metal sculpture of Christ with kids listening and talking. And that's a profound story in our New Testament.